like we have so little data on this team. Like the game 1 and 2 are swept. I think it was a better meta. Like they have Terrorblade, they have DK.
But you can also think that they picked.
Leshrac's not good.
Alright.
Yes.
Steady
Yeah.
BB.
The builds on Terrorblade are too.
I have exciting information.
There's
You
too
may
many
think that this is the
darn
last game, but I can
wizards.
confirm that we will indeed have Enigma
Steady BB.
after this.
Or at least you're in the upper bracket, so you get that second chance. But I don't think either of these teams really wants to face EG just because of the familiarity factor, right? You'd rather play against a team from a different region. But we'll see. We'll see who earns the right to avoid EG tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will say this time around, I think from a drafting perspective, I think Quincy handled some problems like the panel pointed out. Well, they're going to run into Oscar here.
Yeah, first spike will start things out into, well, Dragon Tail not there because of the avalanche from afar, but the Scatter Blast will help them close the gap. Dragon Tail now, Dark Magoo on the sideline, he's just going to let Oscar die. And that is first blood, the way of Quincy Crew, so getting active extremely early here.
Yep, 5-man rotation into the jungle. Pretty standard stuff with the smoke, and they are the ones to find the kill. So what Quincy did a good job with this time around from a drafting perspective, like the panel talked about, they have better wave clear. I think they have a more clear-cut game plan. I think their lineup is more similar to what they were running in game 1. It's not exactly the same, but it just looks better. It feels better to look at it. You see the plan. You think the lanes are going to work out better. For NoPing, what I see is an insane to group up and fight before Terrorblade is ready. So I definitely see a clear way for both teams to win. And just got to see how the lanes play out, right? Like in game number 1, NoPing got completely destroyed in lanes. Game 2, they turned it around and actually won 2 of their lanes. This time around, they do lose the first blood. It goes the way of Lion. Not the best hero to get the first blood on in terms of just raw lane impact. He's buying a stick and a salve with his gold. He's going to try to pressure bottom together with Leshrac on the Dragon Knight.
And some other aspect we don't always bring up, but I feel like in this patch in particular, especially with that second Rosh, just Roshan capability is really important to talk about. But neither team are like crazy Rosh takers, but Quincy Crew does have a little minus armor with a little Shredder, and then the other side, you have the Curse of Avernus and the minus armor technically from Gush, but nothing that will just like take Rosh instantly.
No, it's definitely not great. If I had to pick my fastest Rosh taking team here, it's probably the Radiant because of Luna Aura. I think that overpowers the Terrorblade. Unless like if Terrorblade has like 2 or 3 items and pops meta, right? Then sure, but usually you're looking at a first Rosh somewhere around the 15 to 20 minute mark if you have a strategy that's built for taking Rosh, except there's strategies that just kill it minute 10, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Curious about the mid matchup. We've got Quinn now playing as Viper, very different from his 2 last games where he played Spirit type heroes. This time he's playing a more static hero, more stand and deliver style, and they instead have Leshrac on their catch, Dragon Knight offlane, as we've seen multiple times in this tournament. We're probably going Blink Dagger, first major item, so the roles are reversed. I personally feel like Quinn is the best on the Spirits when he gets to take initiative, when he gets to play fast. But they were probably concerned that their laning stage would go too badly. The Viper offlane just was not great last game, and they're going to mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, Season 1, this is something I've talked about before with Quincy Crew in particular. They would kind of pull the EG type of card where they pick a Quinn Spirit type hero first 2 and then just, let the chips fall where they may, and he would usually win his lane. And they would never flex like this Viper. This would always be a Lelis offlane Viper. But this season, they've definitely switched it up, like you said. They've gone back and forth between the 2. And, I mean, they've had a lot of success, obviously, or else they wouldn't be here to begin with. We'll see how this works out this game.
For NoPing, we've got HFN on another really fast farming hero. Last game he was the Gyro. This time he's going to be playing the Luna that Quincy ran in game 1. So definitely look for him getting a lot of farm, similar to the Terrorblade. An interesting hero versus hero matchup, by the way. Historically speaking, this has been very Terrorblade favored. He can cast Reflection on the Luna, and then he would just overpower her with Metamorphosis. I think there's a possibility for Luna to win this matchup in certain parts of the game. I think in the past we've seen some carry Lunas against Terrorblade go Aghanim Scepter. It's like 2nd or 3rd item. Because either you wipe out all of Terrorblade's illusions with the Eclipse, or you kill him as well if he doesn't have BKB popped. And you could get some serious burst out of a Ravage into Eclipse combo or Tiny combo into it. with the Lesh follow-up.
Speaking of meta,
So we'll see.
Set up with that cookie into the scatter blast. Yawar right-clicking from afar. They just need some vision here. Oscar attempting to TP out. Looks like he'll be good to go.
He'll make it.
Going to the tier 1 tower, actually, so...
No salve on him. Is there a salve? There's a salve on Matthew coming in for the medic. The medic play. And we're straight back to... Okay.
That is a very large toss there onto LOA, into the Avalanche. Yawar still has that meta pop. Won't be able to close this gap any further. Looks like Snapfire's courier will not die. Wait, it goes back to where Matthew was, so...
That's
It doesn't very slow, though.
Has been killed.
He ends up getting it. That right click through the fog. Very successful for NoPing. I mean, Quincy Crew, this is extremely early on, but already a 1K net worth lead, which it feels like every game so far there's been a somewhat substantial lead at like the 5-6 minute mark.
I feel like every game so far, Oscar has been bodied in the offlane. He has 1 CS.
I did not see that.
I was like, where's the 1K net worth lead coming from? Yeah, you got first blood, but the cores are pretty even in the top. I was like, I'm counting cores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 6th? And I just had to keep going down the list until I found Oscar.
Wow. Yeah, that is...
Acting it out in last place.
That is rough stuff. I mean, he bounced back last game, but obviously
He did.
yeah, every single game he's gotten off to a slow start for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, is that more, I mean, not to be negative, is that more on him mechanically talking about, or is Quincy Crew doing something to, as Quinn is just going to chase down Matthew, it's like he'll tick out on the high ground?
I will say, I think in both games, Quincy did a good job in the safe lane. But even with how well they played, he should not be losing the lanes this hard. That's just my 2 cents. Just flat out based on seeing how similar lanes have gone in the rest of the tournament, I think it made sense that Quincy were winning them, but they were just winning them by too much. And this is no exception. Tide now up to 6 CS minute 5, being bullied out of lane by Snapfire, who wisely, in my opinion, did not go the little Shredder build, but rather focuses on the Magic Burst. A much better way of dealing with Tidehunter in lane is just to... yeah, take advantage of the fact that, yeah, you've got Kraken Shell and you're going to break that physical damage, but, you know, you just burst him out every time. LOA getting a nice little sneaky ghost pull here in between the trees, so they're stabilizing top once again for Yawar.
Yeah, in terms of the mid lane, 30-7 for the Lesh versus the Viper 32-35-4, I should say, as he's in the jungle right now. So, I mean, the CS discrepancy is going to be a little bit... I mean, both heroes are pretty good at going to the jungle during these creeps.
I feel like this lane is largely just a draw, right? Like in the start, you can maybe try to put some pressure as either hero, but ultimately both heroes just start shoving out the wave with Nether Toxin and with Lightning Storm and Pulse Nova, and then you just go and take a side camp like every minute. So pretty straightforward stuff here. Quinn has managed to build himself a little bit of an advantage. He's up 10 CS currently with 3 coming into the tower. Now he's going to try to wander to the other side to steal this camp and take the bounty. Feeling confident because of the haste rune. This is good stuff coming out from Quinn here.
Yeah, and LOA taking out a pretty important courier. That's the boots onto Oscar.
Oh, and he's even going to go
into
on.
Quinn, and yeah, this is going to be a free... Although, reinforcements for NoPing have arrived. So Quinn trying to mitigate as much as possible for his friend, but he's not going to be able to save him in the end. When Cookie comes out, Lesh has the Aphotic Shield applied, but the Viper Strike is still ticking through into the Nether Toxin. It looks like he will survive.
Wow, nicely done from Matthew. I was sure that was a dead Lesh. They actually end up getting 0 kills. Like, so what Quinn could have done there if he wanted, he could have popped the haste and run down the Tide, right? That guy would 100% have been dead. But he wanted to get the bigger kill on the Lesh, and if it hadn't been for Matthew, that would have been a better choice. So good job there from NoPing. Quinn will, however, still steal the stack.
Yep, absolutely.
And deward.
Literally all the creeps, and now Matthew, like you said, trying to deward there, but you are, with that meta, gonna be forced back thanks to the Gush and Avalanche. And I mean, look at the amalgamation of heroes here in the top lane for NoPing.
Yeah, I mean, they do get the... They do stay alive, but in terms of resources, they're getting outmaneuvered, right? Because now you're exposed bottom. You have a lane that's completely empty. It's a 3K gold lead just in terms of raw resources being mined. Tide has 12 CS minutes, 730. Is having an absolute travesty of a game here. And I don't know how you recover as Tide from a game like this. Like, this hero really is a ramp-up hero where you get something out of your lane, you keep building. You're going to be a walking Ravage and basically nothing else at this raid. And that Ravage is probably at minute 10 even.
Well, it's strange because, like, you have this dilemma. You can tell me which decision you would make here, but you have a Luna that wants to kill Stack. Obviously, once you level up a bit, Tide can take out Stacks, but do you want to give it to Tide instead of the Luna who wants, you know, to snowball from here?
It takes Tide really long to take
Viper Strike onto Dark Magoo. He can do it, Cinder. Product Shield, gonna mitigate some of that damage now.
I
mean, Quinn
don't know.
leveling right now, mid.
It takes Tide really long to take an Ancient stack. Like, he can only take big camp.
Yeah, big camps. I mean,
but that just got stolen by Viper.
Yeah.
So you don't have it. Oh, that is
Cookie
this
into
time
mana drain. Quinn from the low ground as well as Matthew throws out an avalanche, but they will lose their Abaddon regardless. 4K net worth lead at 8.5 minutes. This is rougher so far than game one.
It's pretty similar, and the causes are also relatively similar, right? The top lane, the off lane for NoPing has been absolutely just flat out run over in a way I've barely seen in this tournament so far, especially for how relatively un-one-sided the matchup is. It's Snap Terrorblade against Tiny. It's not that bad. You can like pull waves, Tiny can sustain, but they have just been flat out beaten. All right, they're gonna get a kill here onto LOA, so it's something. Going the way of Matthew. This is a really steep hill to climb. The advantage, it's not just your 4K behind, it's against Terrorblade Dragon Knight Viper. Like, this 3-core gets so strong in 10 minutes. And are you gonna have what it takes to fight back?
Radiant's middle
Ring of health now on Tidehunter, who will eventually go for the hood.
Oh my god, he's so far behind. I still
Let's stop
kind of
it.
can't
Just
believe
look
it.
away, Cinder, and look away. We're going to have a gank potential here from Quincy Crew.
If you look away from your shard.
That's too late for that one. Leslau pops that ult. Here's the Ravage coming in. It's going to hit 4 heroes for Quincy Crew.
That's a good one.
That is a lot of burst damage from Dark Magoo, and that is a dead Leslau. Huge kill, and Oscar could use all this XP, of course. Lightning Storm going to slow down LOA. Anchor Smash to follow. Don't think they can actually finish this off, though. Looks like they're getting baited a bit as you are. Still in that meta form. They can't find a kill themselves, though. Feels like they really need that Dragon Tail setup.
It's a Ravage for 1 kill, but it's a big kill, right? It's a core. You're struggling. You're behind. It's well worth it. I think you got to do it. And the meta was popped. So you got that out. You defended your top tier 1.
Sorry, not to interrupt. Have you noticed the farm on Lesh? It's actually real bad. That's kind of shocking. His Boots of Travel, I thought it was decent time, but he's way down in net worth right now compared to...
Yeah, he's 1K behind Quinn. Yeah, it's 30 CS. But it's one of these things where it's like cause and effect, right? He probably feels pressure to rotate to help out other lanes because there's got to be communication in the game, right? Like, you're talking about, okay, how are your games going? What do you need? How are you going to play around each other? And I don't think Dark Magoo's sacrificing farm is necessarily a bad move because if he just plays for himself, I think they end up just getting caught and overrun. He needs to take some sort of initiative, and it is coming at the cost of CS. Now it could come at the cost of his life. If they rotate anyone down to Quinn, no, they're not. He's going to be... No one can connect at all.
Like you can see, Quinn does have the Boots of Travel as well. We'll be working towards a Dragon Lance as MSS now has Finger at his disposal.
Nope.
See what they can set up here. Of course, Blink Dagger is kind of the go
Double
time
TPs, they're going to smoke here.
for Leslau when that comes online.
Snap plus DK, they want to wrap around mid.
Oh, yeah.
Very good timing here. Dragon Form up in 5 seconds. So you want to make this hit where you get a kill and then you immediately Dragon Form pressure mid tower. You know you have a bit of time on Ravage as well if you've been...
Ooh, and HFN is in the vicinity. Matthew going to get stunned from the Dragon Tail, but not from the Cookie. Snapfire ult to fall. That's going to be a freebie on the Tiny.
This is a very good rotation from Quincy.
Radiant's middle tower
And the tier 1 tower is probably going to go down. This is with the Siege, obviously, and the Double Dragon, if you want to call it that.
Will Tide get top tower, though? He is cutting behind. The siege creep is alive. I think this will be a tower trade. Bottom lane.
MSS, this again would be a huge kill with Yoar on the sideline here. Finger of Death to follow, and that is enough.
That is a big one.
Big kill. Despite we talked about the net worth kind of struggling there a bit for Dark Magoo, but if you can... I mean, he's a hero that can definitely bounce back because of the farm potential of Lesh, but obviously a big kill regardless.
You do not want to be behind a Lesh against Viper Terrorblade. It is really hard.
Kind of missed there from the Cookie, but you know the Dragon Tail to fall, it's more than enough to get yet another kill onto Matthew.
I guess NoPing have pulled back a little bit of their gold deficit by getting that top tower and the kill, but just the overall trajectory of the game hasn't really changed very much in my opinion. Like, you still have this Terrorblade free farming. So is the Luna. She's getting good farm too, but I think in order to enable Luna to carry this game, Leshrac has to be able to walk in. And if you're not keeping up with the Viper and Terrorblade on items, you die in 1 stun here. even if Abaddon saves you with a Photic Shield, I think you just get chain stunned and still die. Like, he can save you from Earth Spike or Hex or Dragon Tail. If one other spell is in range, you get blasted. Snapfire ult, Viper Strike, you're dead. And yeah, it's no good if he's not able to run in. So he has to try to catch up on farm somehow here. Maybe a smoke move with this Ravage could lead to a mid-tier 1 tower with level 4 Edict. Could be a possible play NoPing are considering right now, communicating about.
Remember, the last Ravage was set up because of the Fog of War.
Yep.
And, you know, Quincy crew kind of stepping outside their comfort zone, if you want to call it that. They don't have Blink. They don't really have any initiation without this Blink.
He's actually kind of caught up to the Dragon Knight now in Tide, right? He's only 400 gold behind.
Yeah, this has been a huge comeback.
Go back 5 minutes, that was not in the cards.
Indeed.
So,
all right, here
good recovery.
The smoke. LOA will likely tank it. The toss into the Gush. Definitely don't want to expend the Ravage for this little guy. And that'll eventually be a kill.
That is not really a very big reward from the smoke.
Yeah.
They steal no stacks, they find a 5, and they're going to be forced back into mid immediately here by Quinn, who's also going to get an Invis rune. So that is about as little of a reward as you can possibly get from a smoke. No runes, no objectives, no stacks.
In terms of the position 1 comparison, as Quinn, like you said, does have that Invis rune, has already popped it. Leslop pops his Dragon form, gets the Dragon Tail out, but immediately dispelled. And yeah, unfortunate ult here from Mr. LOA. Thought that would be a good team fight.
I guess if there's no Photic Shield coming in there, I see where they're coming from, then they're going to get the Viper Strike off, and that does not get purged by Kraken Shell, so then these globs are going to land and they think they have a kill, but it's kind of unexpected that Abaddon is sitting behind Tide, right? Like, you would think Abaddon is sitting behind Luna somewhere protecting her, but...
There's smoke.
All right.
I mean, of course, they still have Ravage, so
yeah,
can definitely take a fight.
I'm not mad at this. If they can find some sort of angle behind mid, again, there is a potential tower here for the Edict, but this pathing is not going to net them anything once again.
Yeah.
At the very least, they're protecting HFN indirectly with this smoke because they know that this regular smoke path that the Dire might take to hit the triangle of the Radiant is not inhabited. But you're not gaining once again. You got an aggressive ward out. Let's see if they make a play on this within the next 6 minutes that they have in the top Dire jungle. Usually you use this ward to either find the carry, because the carry will sometimes go and farm this area thinking it's safe and you get a good snipe, or you use this to protect yourselves when you're hitting top tier 2. But judging from Dark Mago going back to base, I don't think they have any plans of assaulting this top tower. And effectively, that just means you didn't really put much pressure with this smoke on the map, and Quincy are just content to farm. Both Terrorblade, Viper, and Dragon Knight, all 3 of them are getting decent GPM right now. And Lion, by the way, we haven't talked about this very much. He is so far ahead of the other supports. Like,
he's got his Blink.
1,500 gold ahead of the Tiny.
And that's MSS, by the way.
Yes.
So it can't ask for a much better position 4 to get a lot of farm for sure. It's like the Yapsors of the world, and crits.
This is going to pay off in a big way, I feel. Obviously, is playing into the Abaddon. It's one of the best solutions for Lion, I think, from a 5 position perspective, but there's still so much you can do with this. Like, even if the Abaddon is ready, just the fact that you can force the Aphotic Shield, that you have your own chain stun, and the burst. Oh, Tide is in a lot of trouble here. Yep, he is not getting out of here.
They find him on the other side of the tree line, and like you said, especially with that Nether Toxin.
Okay, maybe.
He needs the stacks.
Okay.
I mean, MSS needs these stacks, man.
Yes, he does. And he gets the last hit, too. That's just like then the bottom kill, right clicks him to death in the end.
I think we had a conversation about this, but you didn't actually answer my question. This was a week ago, and I remember this vividly. Because whenever you ignore me, it's just a painful memory each time. But do you typically go for the HP talent on Lion?
I think you need to have a really good reason, to be honest, to do it. Usually in pro games, when you hit level 15 on Lion, let's say you have like 3 kills, then it's effectively, at that point in time, it's a 200 health talent. You could take 200 health or minus 2 second cooldown on your best non-ulti spell.
Right.
Like, depending on the game. Like, Hex can also be amazing, of course, but your bread and butter is Earth Spike. It's a pretty major cooldown reduction. 2 seconds might not sound like a lot, but when the baseline is 12, going down to 10 is a really big deal. So the reasoning I would have is either you're playing core Lion, or you have a lot of finger kills for whatever reason, or you really desperately need the HP against something. Like every fight you're getting jumped by Tiny. or whatever, and this extra bit of health will mean the world to you. But if you're getting jumped by Tiny, you're probably out of position, right? So then you're solving a problem that shouldn't be there to begin with. So most of the time, I think in this tournament, we've almost exclusively seen the Earth Spike cooldown talent, I want to say. I just think it's the stable one for the most part.
Yeah, it's definitely stable. But you can buy both technically, right? It's both HP and CDR, technically speaking. It's not like one of these talents where you literally are not able to purchase something that comes out of like extra damage to a spell, or I guess you can do that too. It's tier 2 tower. Right? That is actually a freebie for NoPing.
Yeah.
And it's not even in trade for another tier 2.
No, Quincy, we're flat out just not ready here. I was gonna say, like, this game has quieted down quite a lot. Like, both teams are just farming. Probably Quincy feel pretty confident because their Terrorblade's hitting a BKB timing now, and now they can go fight. I personally feel like they should have taken more advantage of the fact that whenever Ravage is on cooldown for the Radiant, their lineup just seems stronger to me, and put a little bit more pressure on the map. But at the very least now they look to be trading bot, and they're turning it into a fake play here. They're gonna smoke. There was a ping though, coming out from Matthew. I think he knows this smoke is happening. Maybe this is a trademark Quincy play that they've seen in replays. Backing off from the tower. Also the ward that Matthew has down here.
They don't really layer that properly, but Pandaboo able to pop his ult and just get out.
Yeah. That ward down here from the Radiant in the bottom Radiant jungle also.
I thought that they were just going to be happy with that tier 2 trade in the bot lane.
I would have thought so too, but
under attack.
I'm not sure what it is. Like, Quincy seemed a little bit nervous to me, almost in the way that they're playing the game.
They just really don't want to play EG again.
Oh, then they should win.
Yeah, they should win. I mean,
if you're nervous about your next opponent, if you lose, then play to win. It's not rocket science.
Well, depending on who you ask here, but yeah, there's a smoke gank now from NoPing.
Just what I've been waiting.
MSS.
This one could work out really well. So Tide Dagger, they have a really good read on where Quincy's heroes are. They're very bunched up here.
Oh boy.
If they could somehow, that smoke fails.
And now they see the Diabolic Edict though. Matthew on the other side of the tower as well, but there's a Blink Hex from MSS. And they followed up with anything. Yawar gets ravaged along with three other members of the team, gets his BKB off. Matthew gets a finger, he's not going to die to it though. Meanwhile, duels onto the Lesh as we see the Snapfire ult from afar. Aquatic Shield getting him out of harm's way for now, but he gets stunned into the extra damage from Snapfire. And that is a dead mid Dark Magoo. And now it's going to be followed up with an Abaddon kill as well. So Quincy crew, I thought they were out of position, but MSS ends up finding the opening.
Yeah, that was pretty unclean from both teams, right? Like the Ravage, it looks good, but they're not connecting their stuns on it fast enough. The Leshrac stun didn't come in time, so he got the BKB off. Then they end up fingering and not getting the kill. And a little bit of again, not too pretty, but I guess for Quincy, you got the job done. You forced out Ravage, and now you can try to reap the reward of going Roche.
Yeah.
The Dire is definitely super favored in this spot when Ravage is down and Lesh is dead.
Oh, he actually jumps in. Yeah, the Toxin's there as well, though. It's very squishy as a result, and here's the Eclipse to follow from HFN. Can they actually get a kill? Doesn't look like it, at least not to start, but this is the thing. These two metamorphic type spells between Dragon Knight and Terrorblade are going down soon. So I don't know if Quincy can fight anymore.
Yeah, if this ends up giving them a Roche, that was a great play from Tide. If not, it was not a great play from Tide.
Good analysis, thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes die good.
Yawar back in melee form, so not nearly as useful as they're going to find the pickoff onto LOA.
He doesn't have buyback. That's 5v4 now. Tide's going to respawn.
Oh boy.
They're actually just getting Roche off of this.
They're going to...
In a very roundabout way. NoPing will get an Aegis on HFN.
Yeah, so Quincy crew has to concede that Roche. I mean, that's rough because, I mean, it is technically risky after taking a fight when you have these two heroes that rely on these relatively long cooldowns to be useful, if you want to call it that. And that's the timing for NoPing. Looks like they're going to focus on this tier 1 tower. Fortifications popped up. Quinn is here now. MSS jumps in, gets the Hex. Snapfire ult from afar. If they can get HFN, it would be pretty big. He pops his BKB. Still has the Aegis, obviously, so not super scared, as Pandaboo might be the sacrifice here. Quincy crew gets something out of it, but still definitely not feeling good.
No, and I don't think they can really claim any collateral here. They're not going to get a tier 2 tower. The waves are well pushed out by NoPing. Ravage is also up again, so there is a possibility for NoPing to group up. with smoke play, Luna with the Aegis and ulti in 40 seconds and BKB. So in 40 seconds, they're actually very strong here. And you've got to, as Quincy, you've got to be a little bit careful since you're playing without any natural save. A Blink Ravage that's better executed than the last one can just burst any of their heroes. Oh, all right. Looks like LOA is going to be found again.
Of course, he's very known for basically the Abaddon, pulling these plays where you get picked off, you don't really care because it takes extra time, but the Snapfire essentially is kind of playing the same way, but he's just
Couldn't
getting
they have
picked
denied
off
that
immediately.
tower?
Oh yeah.
That tower was 80 health for like a
100%.
minute and a half.
Yeah, they could have definitely denied.
All right, so a little bit of extra pick-me-up gold here for Darkmago. His BKB is really important, by the way. I think both teams, BKB is a crucial item in this game, as it so often is, but whenever you're playing in any game where Terrorblade is involved, playing around Sunder and playing around the setup stuns that allow him to just go to town is always going to be very important.
It's going to be, I mean, depending on the fight, it feels like you need to use these BKBs relatively early, so Thunderplay technically still there for Yawar if you can just survive the onslaught. Leslout, find an opening here onto the Lesh, but there's the Aphotic shield, and it helps dodge the Earth Spike from MSS.
This is the exact situation that you want to set up as Quincy, huh? Good deny.
Okay.
You want to force the Aphotic shield with a low commitment spell. So what they did there was they did a Dragon Tail, and Abaddon comes in for the Aphotic, and that Earth Spike just needs to land. If that lands, that's a kill. They couldn't have saved him after that. There's way too much spell burst on the Dire side between Finger, Mortimer Kisses, Viper's damage, but a little bit of a miss. We'll keep him alive.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a different playstyle than we're used to seeing from Quincy Crew in terms of like LOA. We talked about Elder Titan as well. Abaddon, they have these clear type of playstyles that almost like saves, pseudo saves, where Snapfire just has a cookie.
Yeah,
and he's not getting Ags anytime soon.
Not
obviously.
the same. This bottom tower, like you're not interested here. It's an Aegis fight against Ravage. You're gonna give this up.
Dire's bottom tower.
Always see them take the tier 2 as well. Just the man advantage. It makes this very intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a hard area to hold.
Oh, they have vision on MSS. The Avalanche trying to get the toss off. The Hex is there into the Earth Spike to follow. And they should know that the majority of NoPing are on this high ground area. Yeah, they're just going to focus back on this tier 2. And like you said, there's just not a whole lot Quincy Crew can do right now. But they've timed this out, so just over a minute left on this Aegis, and that's when I assume Quincy Crew can try to take a fight.
I think they would like to wait for Terrorblade Scotty if possible. It's a very big item timing for this hero. Allows him to set up his own kills. That strong slow. Oh, ooh. That was really close, and that could have gone really bad. HFN just gets out with the skin of his teeth. Gets level 18 up top, so that's the level 3 in Eclipse. So what BKBs do we have on the Dire? We have 3, right? All 3 cores. And on the Radiant, we have Luna, Lesh, so 2. So 3v2 BKBs. Really going to be the name of the game here to try to poke and prod these BKBs or find a flat-out burst. I think for Quincy, looking for a burst onto a BKB hero is very high risk. If they fail, the Abaddon can save. They can get countered by a Blink Ravage. So you probably want to slowly develop the fight, try to survive the Ravage, and then go from there.
Yeah, with only 20 seconds, you can tell Quincy Crew are definitely aware of this Aegis timing. See if they can time it well. There's the jump in from Leslout onto the Lesh, into the Viper Strike to follow. The toss out, trying to save him. Yule's keeping him alive a little bit longer, and he'll survive through that onslaught. And we'll see if NoPing can take advantage of this now.
Good word here from LOA, giving them a lot of information if they want to try to pursue more. Terrorblade is currently sitting bottom, pushing this out. They should really be taking this tier 2 tower bot now. Like this has been standing here for definitely 5 minutes too long, and has been keeping them away from getting that outpost equalization for quite some time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And now they're just going to focus on the different tier 2.
Yeah,
of course, this is does Quincy Crew try to defend this is the question.
Not this one. They need to obviously defend high ground. They're going to be outpushed, I think. Even if their heroes overall can push faster, I don't know if they can actually against Luna Lesh, but obviously the Radiant a little bit ahead there. I'm hearing something.
Scotty timing is
Alright,
now technically on
Dragon
time.
Knight testing the BKB. It does work.
Oh no.
Leslau.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Using BKB, easy for Leslau.
That is, I mean, that's just another minute you're going to have to wait to be able to take. I mean, his Dragon form was down anyway, so they wouldn't want to fight without that regardless.
That's true.
Still, not a good look there. And it's funny because I feel like from Quincy Crew's perspective, ever since they got Lelis, because obviously this team has been around for quite a while in some form, but when he took over as the offlaner, that's when this team really took off. He's been kind of the, well, I guess you could call every single player on the team a carry of sorts, depending on the game, but he's been a very, very stable figure in the offlane.
Yeah.
MSS, you can see, has the Aeon disc now, so...
It can happen to anyone
ability.
to misclick on the keyboard and use your BKB, right?
Yeah, we've seen
not
it
gonna
at
really
TI
chalk up
many a
much to
time.
that.
MSS on the high ground. Leslau's there as well. Oh, the instant hex onto the Tiny. Looks like the Snapfire ult from afar. And who's going to pop that ult, survive a little bit longer. Avalanche in the toss away. Create some distance here. Matthew not quite going to go down here. And the heals up from the Abaddon are going to save him for now. Dark Magoo in the meantime being right-clicked at a newly picked up Scotty of Yawar. Pops that BKB. He's going to destroy the Abaddon. Now they're surrounding the Leshrac. Matthew trying to get some pickoff. They'll find MSS at the very least. But these are 3 big pickoffs here. Triple kill for Yawar, and they only lose 2 supports.
No
Radiant's
Ravage
bottom
used.
tower
There was
is
no
under attack.
opportunity there
Radiant are scanning.
for Oscar to really get in there. And yeah, well, the Luna didn't use BKB either, but she did use Eclipse. This is kind of dangerous. You might have to use buybacks here.
Jumping into the instant Lucent Beam. Now the Ravage comes with the double buyback like you talked about. Now Quincy Crew on the run. They're going to lose Lelis to start things out. Make it 2, and Yawar gets Yuled from the other side of the tree line. And that is a huge buyback. Actually, going to get his Sunder off for now, but I don't think he's getting any kills out of this. Way too much magic damage, as I can actually hear NoPing screaming in the background. They are very happy about this turn of events. I can't blame them.
It's a very important precast on the Lucent Beam, but at the same time, what a YOLO Blink Dragon Tail.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing into a team that obviously has buyback on defense, and you're a core exposing yourself. Your team has no BKBs ready. That just seemed very uncharacteristic for Quincy. Like, it's just like, look at the risk reward, right? Like, you're blink stunning into Fog against a Luna with BKB, buyback heroes on the enemy high ground, and you don't have meta BKB on your cores or any ultis. That was absolutely crazy to me. I can't believe they went for that.
And I mean, this is an Abaddon with a Luna. This is going to be a real fast push. Fortifications pop. They do have buyback onto Yawar, but it's 20 seconds. It'll feel real bad to have to use it now, but if you don't, this is one lane of racks. You can see Quinn spawned naturally. MSS jumps in. Quinn pops the BKB after getting tossed in, and they're going to try to turn this. 8 seconds left on Yawar as he comes back very shortly. Oscar will not go down finally to that last right click of Leslau. So a nice defense from Quincy Crew. Can they get more than one is the question. Be it the Tidehunter, it'll be the Abaddon. I guess they'll call it a day there. Oh, Leslau continuing on. Looks like he faked back there.
Alone.
Blink Dragon Tail.
No one's even close. He's not going to get this kill.
Yeah. Has the spider legs there, but I mean, that they didn't cost any buyback for Quincy Crew. That is the very good news.
Yeah.
But did they get melee racks?
They did.
Yeah, so
they got the melee racks in half of the range, and what did it really cost them? They lost the Tide, who already used Ravage, and then lost the Abaddon. It's honestly really, really good from NoPing to push down mid there. I think it's a great choice. And in comparison, let's say Quincy would have bought back on cores to defend there. I feel like there's an escape strategy for NoPing because they're not blinking into the enemy base on some sort of stun catch. They're sieging from afar. They have a hard dispel Abaddon protecting if there is a jump in from Dragon Knight or Lion so that they can disengage. So their push is just way safer.
Quincy Crew gonna focus on the tier 1 top finally. And I feel like this second Roche, I mean, we've talked about so many times how important it is. I feel like it's more important this game for Quincy Crew more than anything because it feels like NoPing are starting to build a nice lead
MSS
here.
with the opener.
And Leslau jumps in with that Dragon Tail. Yawar pops that Metamorphosis with the BKB activated. Now HFN with that BKB has to run away for now. He's getting surrounded though. Viper Strike applied. Finally the Ravage comes out. Looks like Leslau's gonna die in the midst of things. Along with Quinn, Leslau finally taking out here very shortly, but they do get the Luna. That's the important kill, but it's gonna cost them 3 of their members. Buyback now into Leslau. Yawar is completely surrounded. Dark Magoo basically has no mana to speak of. Gets mangoed on the sideline. And Yawar and MSS trying to team up to take out Oscar. They should be successful in doing this. Cost them a buyback on the Leslau, though.
This is
and
a
Roshan is
spawning now.
Is he?
Wait.
Where's Roshan?
Hello? He's
angry after the last game. Nobody took that shard. All right, now the buyback onto the Tidehunter. Looks like the Earthspike's gonna connect on one.
Now he's up.
I mean, 45 seconds, no Luna, no buyback.
Yeah, I don't think you
Now
can do it
these-
though.
Yeah, they don't have.
Not
they don't
with that
have meta.
Tide buyback. You can't do this.
Yeah, absolutely. MSS, the Aeondas is going to proc. He's going to get surrounded now as Dark Magoo trying to take advantage of these Spider. Like, basically has no mana, though, as Yawar trying to chase. Panda Boo gets off the Aphotic Shield. Oscar, this is the buyback here. He's super tanky right now. Lesla's still in Dragon form.
Let's just TP out right in front of them.
He coming in. What? Going to get the stun out to start things out.
Okay.
Looks like the Snapfire ult is up again. They're going to use it to take out Matthew. And they're going to try to turn this now onto the Abaddon. So they're going to get a couple kills at the very least.
Did they see Lesh TP? I mean, he was low on resources, right? So I guess, but then it's kind of, dude, this is so strange. Like,
This is a weird game.
The Tide is committing in. If Leshrac doesn't want to go, that's fine. Like, you're not in a super hurry to defend this Roche. The Dire isn't going to kill it in like 5 seconds, right? So if you wanted to disengage with that Tide buyback and just reset your Lesh and then go contest Roche, that's fine. They bought back the Tide. He runs in, and all he does is wall for Lesh's escape, and then you're just feeding your 2 supports and giving away Roche.
Right.
That
Radiant's top
is
tower is under attack.
really, really big for Quincy. I wonder who's going to get the shard. Probably going to be used to fertilize the Roshan pit once again.
Probably, I would say MSS probably. I think LOA is the best, but he doesn't really have any blink action going.
It is good on Quinn.
Yeah, that's true too. MSS has it for now. We'll see if he
Yeah,
can
he's going to bring it to Quinn, I think.
Yeah, that's true. The Viper one is extremely good. We'll talk about that in
Minus
just a
armor
moment.
is great for the...
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the team fight here, just everybody on top of each other. The Luna dies relatively early. Did cost a
Radiant's
couple
top
members of
tower
Quincy
is
crew,
under
but
attack.
Yawar just he's very survivable in these fights. Has a ton of stats. Obviously, the Sunder is a big deal. We're going to see the splitter actually connect on
Opening on
Quinn.
Quinn, yeah.
Off the BKB, gets the Viper Strike off, and Dark Magoo's just gonna TP out. See if they can turn things around here. Might find the Abaddon again. Again, this is such an annoying hero to kill. It takes quite a bit of time attempting to TP out, but they have the double stun, double action, and down he goes. But like you said, Quinn did take the shard officially, I believe. So this will allow poison attack to work on buildings, and it applies minus armor, which...
He does a lot of damage to towers. He also has Orb of Destruction. Every time I hear that item, I think of Diablo 2.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes.
Simran.
No, it's because the expansion is called Lord of Destruction. It sounds so much like Orb of Destruction.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that little trivia.
There's probably a few 10,000 people watching that have done their fair share of Bale runs in their lives, so they will understand where I'm coming from. All right, here goes the tower.
Yeah, keep in mind, they're trying to go high ground. This is a split earth shard for Leshrac.
That is true.
It is very good for high ground defense. I mean, there's no way they're actually going to commit all the way because they still have Aegis for another 4.5 minutes. And meta, not sure if that's quite up yet. It actually is. He's going for an MKB next, it looks like.
So I haven't encountered this situation very much in my own game, so I would imagine what you do is you kind of treat this like pseudo-techies. Like, you bait out the Lesh stun, then you go to another lane if you can, right? Like, you...
But it's up so often.
It is. If you can push 2 lanes at the same time, though, he has to choose, right? You have Dragon Knight, Terrorblade, Viper, all 3 tower heroes in this game. Make sure you at least place 1.
Leslap popped on. There's the Ravage. They're trying to burst down Yawar. He has the Satanic. He has Scotty. He has everything. Looking for the Sunder target. Will be onto the Tidehunter. He's just going to get cleaned up immediately. Super fast kill. So the Ravage ends up not working out. That's a really long cooldown.
Radiant's
Not available as Quincy crew now take the tier 2 and they just can continue on here.
Was the target actually Terrorblade there?
I believe
hadn't
he was the
used-
only one Ravage.
He hadn't used meta. He has Aegis, BKB, and Satanic,
Yeah,
and a
that-
full team.
Very strange.
That is literally a 0% probability play. That
Literally?
will never work. That will never work. Even if you kill him.
Oh,
He's
look
gonna
at this split earth. Connecting out severed hoods. They're trying to toss Leslau into the tier 4s. He gets extremely low. Looks like he's going to survive for now, trying to dodge those split earths. As look at that. Scotty going to work on Dark Magoo. Down he goes, and just like that, Quincy Crew's just going to win the game. How does this happen? All of a sudden, second Roshan into a couple of pickoffs, and now they have all this pushing power.
For what it's worth, I wouldn't ascribe very much of that to the extra shard in this patch. I
The
think
shard is unbelievable.
I don't even know if they needed an Aegis there. Like,
Yeah,
that was just crazy.
That is true. MSS is going to get jumped for now, and only 2 members of NoPing trying to at least get 1 kill.
good Sunder.
The Thunder save from Yawar, and now Luna goes down. She does have buyback. Remember, this is not the tournament life on the line, but loser will play EG in the lower bracket. Buyback up to both Luna and Leshrac, and still Quincy crew in numbers. They still have Aegis. They still have everything. MSS does die, does have buyback, though. We'll expend it immediately as you are in enemy lines. The Eclipse went off there for a moment, and they're just going to turn things around. Yawar, Lucid Beam is there. Looks like the Aegis. Oh, he popped Satanic right as the Aegis went down. Not sure if it's actually going to matter here. The stay on the HFN, he'll be able to get into the fountain in time. Yawar, they're playing with their food here, I feel like. Now they might have to back. Quinn gets off the Viper strike. He's just going to drop shortly after. The Quincy crew are not able to end the game.
Oh, he missed the stun on the
You
left.
are. Yeah, he's still in a lot of trouble though. MSS, this will be a dieback. They're actually going to buy back onto Quinn. He has his boots of travel. Look at the Snapfire buyback as well. MSS trying to burst down Dark Magoo. He's being saved by Pandaboo again. HFN, this will be an enormous kill if they're able to find him. Splitter is just going out all over the freaking map. The shard is unbelievable. Leslau gets bursted down finally. That is essentially a dieback. Anybody that dies will be a dieback. And that is a dead Yawar. Quincy crew, what? What am I watching, Cinderin? LOA getting chased now. NoPing starting to come back into this game. No Aegis, no Cheese, I believe, and they only get one set of racks?
Mine.
What? What am I watching? Look at that Cheese, the 3 Satanics used during that time. Oh my goodness.
I mean,
buyback galore here.
That was a really clutch respawn coming in from Pandaboo. I'm not sure we're going to see that in this replay. I don't remember when it happened. It was probably 5 minutes ago. This fight took forever, but yeah, it's actually before this. So he just barely respawned, and the Fountain came in with the Aphotic Shield and the Glimmer Cape, and Quincy had no detection. Yeah. They would have killed the Lesh there and probably ended the game. All right, great replay. I love speeding it up. Let's go push the other way.
They can do a lot here. Actually, Yawar did get buyback eventually there, so he's going to pop it. But it's 3 versus 5. And I do believe that this is going to be GG in NoPing's favor. Matthew, Ravage, see the Ravage onto Viper. They have the Splitter at the fall. He gets forced out. The Thunder save. Nice Thunder, beautifully done into the Satanic. So Yawar is very safe and sound as Dark Magoo looks like he's going to go right-click down. Can NoPing actually finish? It's the Ancient not quite low enough to actually go for this. HFN pops the BKB, trying to go for all in here. I don't think he's going to get it. He's just getting right-clicked by Yawar and still in meta right now.
Tide is getting it.
Sadly, Tidehunter didn't get the shard, so he's not able to burst down those buildings, Cinder, and his Pandaboo drops. What is it? What am I watching? What is this game? All right, now Quincy crew are perhaps going to finish the game. What is this?
All right. Down the other way.
This is entertaining, but this is very sloppy play from both sides.
Let's go bottom left now. We were just top right.
All in. All right, well, the good news for NoPing at the very least, the silver lining right now is I believe those tier 4s are still intact. Ancient is not completely exposed. Yeah, 1, okay. Single tower.
There's
you got a throne here, right? 60 seconds no Lesh, 40 seconds no Abaddon.
I was going to say this should be enough, but I'm going to reserve my judgment of what is enough right now. Gonna have to wait and see how this goes.
All right, we can see that shard from Viper going to work onto the tower, and the minus armor from Snapfire. They're decimating these buildings, and Quincy crew looks like they're gonna somehow win this game. I don't even understand what I watched. What the hell?